Find the beauty within. If anyone had said to me, say maybe 40 years ago, 35 years ago, what are you talking about? I was only interested in the beauty without, how my hair was, my face. And I went through many stages growing up because I, as a child, had felt ugly. So I was external. I had freckles, not brown skin like my sisters. I felt fat, and then I tried to diet and I get too skinny, and then so I was always trying to make myself okay, because as a child I saw what I saw in the mirror, which is my image, through the image of a very damaged childhood, and I'd taken on a lot of beliefs about myself, about my not being belonging and not even being, shouldn't have even been born. But so I had no sense of worth or value. So I had like lenses that were clouded over with what I call like a grey mist or a dark mist through trauma, and I couldn't see the truth about myself. And so where was I focused? I was focused on myself the whole time because I never quite right. I was never quite how I should be. And no matter how hard I struggled, I would always oscillate. I'd be okay, and then I wouldn't be okay. And I'd be all over the shop, which would make you feel depressed. Now, that's not just me. Lots of young people, as you know, have anorexia and bulimia. That's extreme. And often it can relate, and to a lesser degree, it can relate to what people are believing about themselves. And they're trying to make themselves feel okay about themselves. They're trying to make, through their distorted image, through what I believe is not the truth, um, make them feel better about themselves. So anyway, over the years, as I've had a lot of areas of memory, truth in the innermost parts of my being, in those areas where I have unresolved memories with lies about myself, lies about life, and worthless, all that sort of stuff is my fault. I'm responsible. As I've experienced the truth and the presence of light in that, that's all dissolved. Interestingly enough, this is not just for me, it's for anyone who's watching this. And I'm just sharing my story because my lenses were cleaned. And I remember looking at photographs and thinking, oh my gosh, I wasn't bad looking. I wasn't like I thought I was. But I couldn't see myself in the truth because I had so many lenses over me that were lies about myself and lies about who I was. So that's this work removes the darkness, the cloudiness, so that you get clarity. You can actually see, you can actually experience the truth, not only about yourself, but you can discover the presence of the one inside where the true beauty is. I remember one woman that we had with the team, and we were assisting her, and she was in a pretty dark space. I don't know what was going on now. The situation made her feel like she was hopeless, powerless, trapped. And, she had wrinkles on her face and she looked worried. You know what worry does to you? It just scrunches you all up. And we listened to the feelings and all the beliefs that she was believing. And then we asked her to listen to the Spirit of Truth, the one who created her. And as she listened, her face, literally, you could almost see the wrinkles disappear out of her face and her eyes and over her head. And she ended up, we all watched and we thought, oh my gosh, what a difference from the tension that was in her face a moment ago to this sense of peace and the beauty that shone out of her face was like a radiance. It was just beautiful. I've never forgotten that. And there was Bev who came to us. I remember when I was assisting her, and we've had hundreds, and so many people coming to us over the years who are stuck and trapped and don't know how to move those blockages. And all they need to do, of course, is acknowledge them, accept them, and listen. But we teach them how to do that. Bev came to us and she told us, and would you please excuse me, but she told us she felt like SHIT. That's the truth. That's what she felt like. And we said, okay, let's feel the SHIT. and all the feelings that are around it and all the beliefs that are around it, because that begins to release people. And it just gets it up and gets it out, as I've mentioned over and over again. And as she explored it, she went back to a memory with her father. And in that memory with her father, as a result of what had happened with her father, and it doesn't matter what happened, she was left with the belief about herself that she was bad. She was worthless. So she had no sense of worth, no sense of value. And that's what was creating her, making her feel those words, SHIT. So we just got her to listen. And it was extraordinary what happened to her face. She, again, it's a repeat of the other one, just all listed off. And she said, I'm not bad. I'm not worthless. We never said a word. We got her to listen to herself and listen to the truth within her. And she just became transformed. It was like a transformation. The beauty from within that she experienced then, rather than all the other, that was actually showing up, crinkling her face up, just shone out from within. You can see people that are actually beautiful and really beautifully made up and beautifully dressed, but their faces don't show the true beauty of who they are. There's kind of like a mask. And so there are other people who aren't that good looking, and you've seen them. And yet there's a beauty, particularly people who help other people, people who are giving and caring, not in a martyr way, but in a way that they freely give. You see a sense of fulfillment and worthwhileness about themselves, and they just have this soft, beautiful radiance, and that beauty from within begins to shine out right through them. So there's the true self or the false self. I was living from the false self. But again, it was just like a cloak that was over me that needed to, and over Bev and over so many other people. And the trauma can do that as well. Trauma can actually split you. And at that moment of trauma, like a darkness comes on that memory. And if it's not resolved, you can often be triggered off because it's unresolved. And you can feel pretty bad about yourself. And that can cause the pain and the terror that Trish had felt this week. And as she listened and we went into it, again, same process of listening to the feelings and beliefs, she was transformed. Her face was transformed. You could see the tension just dissolve away. So what are you operating from? I operated out of a mask. I think I've told you all, Doris Day was she looked happy. She looked like fun. I thought, I want to be like her. So I covered over what was within me. And I just buried it all. And I just pretended that I was all okay. And until one day I got triggered and triggered and triggered so many times, I thought, I've got to deal with what's going on inside of me. Thank God I did 35 years ago. So most people can't, that are operating out of their false self. What do you mean by the false self? It's when they take on roles of being responsible, controlling, protective, guarding, and you'll know that if you're operating out of a role or victim, it's because that's the false self. That's what we do to survive stuff from the past. That's the false self. Life becomes hard, it becomes tense, you get resentful, you get frustrated, you also get used and manipulated because you're operating not out of your true self, but your false self, not the true beauty of who you are in that place where you're secure. When you're then you have expectations of yourself. Other people have expectations of yourself. When you do all the right things, and I did it all, and I expected other people to love me because of what I did. And I thought that would make me feel loved and I would experience the beauty within. It didn't. It only made me resentful and angry. What about you? Where are you in your life? Are you trying to do what I did, people please? Are you trying to please God? Whereas in fact, he's just wanting you to be and allow him to love you and let his love flow through you. But I couldn't do that because I had too many blocks. Where are you at right now? Do you have a sense of beauty flowing through you? Do you have a sense that you've got an overflow of love? I can remember one day I'd spent quite a few hours at a little chapel over here, which I used to do, and I was determined that I wanted change in my life, and the only one I could change was me. So I sat, and I cannot recommend this more strongly to you, is that learning to sit and be still, no matter how you agitated and restless you feel, acknowledge it and just sit there. And after 2 hours, in this particular case, because I was in a pretty bad state, I waited and waited and waited. And I got literally like that tap that was over my heart when I did the body, mind, heart. And it was just I just got filled up. When I walked out of that little chapel, having done nothing much but be still in the presence of my Creator, I was so full. I thought, I have got so much in me. I have to go see someone and just share the joy I feel and the peace I felt. I felt the opposite. So would I have been with that beauty is not just mine. That beauty came from the one I sat with. It was a reflection of that beauty. Do you take time to be still? I mean, I had to chain myself down mentally and emotionally 35 years ago to stop and be still. And I've still got that part of me who wants to run and do and all the time. But then I wear myself out, get exhausted, then I get resentful. It doesn't lead to what I really want, which is peace and a sense of presence within me. So it's your choice and your decision, despite what's going on, is to be present to yourself. It says in Psalm 139, you were formed in me, formed by me. You have formed me in my innermost being and knit me together. In Psalm 139, have a look at that. It's beautiful. You, meaning our Creator, you formed me in my innermost being, and He wants truth in the innermost being, and you knit me together. And He said in Genesis 1, He made us from His image and likeness. I remember one day I was going through a tough time, so I dealt with my feelings, my beliefs, under His guidance. And I just got the words at the end, you are the essence of me. You have your essence from me. And it really touched me deeply. That listening to the truth changes everything. It just brings this sense of being loved, and you don't think about what you look like. You just feel so secure and safe, and there's a sense of light and beauty just being there, which starts to flow out. And I was reading in this most beautiful, beautiful little book this morning, and it was suggesting to me and to all of us that this is the way I'm finding it works. You glide down into the depths within, surrendering to the interior fountain. Jesus talks about water, the living waters, into the interior fountain, which is purifying and sanctifying. We don't have to do anything, we just have to allow it. And it's the action of the crystal waters of pure unconditional love and beauty that actually washes over us. I've seen people with shame, so much shame, just literally seeing it dissolve as a result of what happened to them. And those living waters then can flow out of us effortlessly because we don't need to do anything. We just need to surrender, allow, and just say, take over. My favourite words are take over, if I said over and over again. Okay, so that's in John 7. Have a look at that. It's all about the living waters flowing through us to others. That beauty, love, calm, peace, and the radiance that's available here within us when we just make a pathway open. We could help you remove the blocks, and you then can experience and you can share What a wonderful way to go into Christmas. What a wonderful way to go into life today, tomorrow. What a wonderful way to go into the presence of someone you can't stand. What a wonderful way to go into the presence of some crisis that you're having happen in your life at the moment. If you just take the time to be with the one who is the living water, who is love, who is beauty. You've only got to look at his creation and you see him everywhere. I'm going to take you through a meditation now. And I'm going to ask the wonderful counselor, the Spirit of Life and Truth, to show you exactly where you're at in relationship to beauty and love within you. So I'm going to ask him. It's a very simple exercise. So just be still and again, step back and imagine you're watching a television screen, whereas in fact you're just looking into your mind's eye, and then allow the one who knows you through and through to reveal exactly what he wants to reveal in relationship to this topic. So I'm going to ask him to bring you at any stage of your life that's appropriate into your mind's eye, so you actually look at yourself. So you do it, wonderful counsellor. Help everyone not to so we become self-focused, so we encounter you and your truth. So just look into your mind's eye, and I ask you to look at the image or the sense of the image of yourself. And as you do that, I'm going to ask you to become really present under grace, the grace of your Creator. I'm going to ask him to show you, wonderful counselor, when they look at themselves in their mind's eye, what do they feel? You show them how they feel about themselves. Strangely enough, I got the word disgusted. I don't know why. But if you get words like that, look at yourself. Whatever you get, allow the feelings to rise up so you can get to the truth. You may have feelings of inadequacy. You might look at yourself and see someone wanting, needy, whatever it is, accept as you look at yourself, all of those feelings about yourself. I'm going to ask wonderful counsel to show everyone, reveal to them, what do they believe about their worth as a result of their life? What do they believe about their worth and their value? I ask you to reveal it so that they can hold that and you can reveal your perspective. Listen. Look at yourself and listen. You may get a word like you look at yourself and feel worthless, not good enough, inadequate. You might even see yourself as ugly, as I used to think of myself. Whatever it is, accept it, acknowledge it, accept it, allow it to be there just for a moment. It's not going to stay there. And in that place, I'm going to ask, when you look at yourself, do you accept yourself and love yourself unconditionally? Or have you rejected or judged yourself? And all you need to do is acknowledge it if you have rejected or judged or hated yourself. And all I ask you to do for a moment is to just let that go, renounce it, let the self-judgment, self-rejection, self-condemnation go. It's like a wall of darkness. It's part of the dark cloud. Just let it, drop it, let it go. And hold that belief about yourself as you look at yourself, whether it be inadequate, worthless, nothing, whatever it is that has been blocking your life. Hold it. And I'm going to ask you to listen. I'm going to ask for the Spirit of truth to speak into that belief that you think you believe about yourself, into that image of yourself. What is your truth? Wonderful counselor, the one who gave his life for you, who created you. What is your truth? Listen. Don't speak, just listen and look. And as you look at yourself, I have a sense too, some here may need to forgive themselves. And I see an image of some people hugging themselves. Forgive yourself with the forgiveness from Jesus on the cross. He's already paid the price for whatever you've done or not done. But his forgiveness flows through you, and if you can hug that image, accept that image. Now listen again. What is your truth? How do you see the wonderful creator, wonderful counselor? Look and see and accept what you're sensing. And be aware if there's been a shift and if you feel any different as a result of that. Notice if there's a shift in your feelings. And be aware of every feeling you have now. This is an ongoing journey of loving ourselves, because as you love yourself, you allow love to flow through you. As you love yourself, you accept what was given to you as gift, and you allow the living waters to flow through and wash away all the obstacles. As you love yourself unconditionally, you're allowing the love from the one who is love to flow through you. And this now is a gift that you can give to others by just being accepting of yourself and accepting the truth about yourself and the beauty and the love that was always within and is always within. And I've just heard from Susie, who's on there. I love, she's just had a beautiful encounter. And we can all do this anytime we feel less than or we're struggling, is to come back to the truth, to the presence that's deep within us, who wants to hold our hands and show us the presence of beauty and love through and with him and in him. And you can come back to this video anytime you want, anytime you feel less than, anytime you get stuck, because we are a product of our past. And unfortunately, a lot of us have a lot of unresolved stuff from the past, and that can make us feel pretty bad about ourselves, which blocks our beauty and blocks the love. So go and enjoy your day, enjoy your night, and see if you can remain and retain and practice this presence. Thanks for listening.